That well, eh?
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his fate.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky over you?
I don't know why I talked to you.
You're probably just a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of you.
Did your personality accidentally slip out?
Pricks. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss the graffiti as a publicity stunt or an act of frustration by a tiny disorganised group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
We shall overcome. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, doctors Ingrid Svorsborg-Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options.
With 2 of the finest minds in science working together, hopes are still high for the eventual return of the team to dry land.
Without enough engineers to successfully fix their craft, the team seem likely to attempt to farm the cavern's ecosystem while they wait for rescue from above ground. I think I'll stick to risotto, Jeremy.
Bloodbath avoided. As the last Mr. Snugglehugs is found and destroyed, we ask, how could we have been so blind?
Fortunately, this station wisely chose not to advertise Mr. Snugglehugs, and the subsequent disappointing sales turned out to be a miracle, as only 7 children were horribly injured by the lethal toy. How much worse could it have been? Thankfully, we'll never know.
Questions have been raised about the government's judgment, with Prime Minister Peter Clement forced to apologise this morning for seeming to endorse the self-combusting plaything in this publicity shot taken last Christmas. Let's hope his niece recovers quickly.
Table for 2. Johnny Hamsleeves and Tiffany Lamour were spotted having a private moment out at lunch today.
The popular couple have certainly been on a roller coaster since they started dating late last year, and this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Could we be on the verge of the biggest celebrity wedding since professional wrestler Randy Grizzlenuts McFridge married his longtime tag team partner Tina Tiny Hands last year in a wrestling ring made entirely of cake?
Is this once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sport?
And onwards and upwards. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a brand new product that already has the markets buzzing with interest.
This groundbreaking product came as quite a shock when it was revealed earlier today, though its critics are sceptical that the young CEO can fulfill her promises.
Described as a breakthrough far ahead of its time, the male contraceptive pill is heralding a sexual revolution. Its fans are celebrating the fact that men can finally take equal responsibility for contraception, but others have expressed concerns over its safety and side effects.
With that exclusive Prime Ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon live at the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
But first tonight, while advance is certainly proving popular with the majority of the country, who've seen their wealth and standards of living increase considerably, for some, the transition has not been as pleasant.
That's right, Megan. The formerly aristocratic members of our society have had to make major adjustments to come to terms with the new regime.
Robin Short is in suburbia investigating rumours that these previously privileged people may be planning some kind of protest. Robin?
Thanks, Megan. I'm here in Moderate Hatchings to talk to Wentworth and Penelope Somerset Bentley, who were relocated to the house you see behind me after Advance passed the Assets and Wealth Act on their first day in office. Tell me, how are you settling into your new lives?
Well, quite frankly, Robin, we're not settling in at all. Our neighbours are whitewatters.
It's simply untenable. I hope you'll forgive my language, but it's as steaming as a Wednesday hatch basket with too much spadding.
Steady now, Penelope. Sorry, Robin, my sister's under a lot of pressure. She had to dress herself this morning and she still hasn't quite recovered, Robin.
My goodness, that must have been quite a shock.
She really struggles with ribbons, Robin.
Well, at least you've been rehoused in a nice big house.
Big house? This grubby little gaddis spatch only has one staircase.
And the breakfast room and the dining room in the same bloody place. Imagine that, having all one's grub in one room. One room, Robin.
So what would you say to the people that feel that your family has had it far too easy for far too long, and that these redistributions are both fair and just?
I hardly think we've had it easy for fussle's sake. Only one of our swimming pools was even heated.
But realistically, what can you do?
Well, you've asked the right bloody question, Robin.
Thank you, Wentworth. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason.
I think our toilet butler was from Swinstead. Dear George. Oh, I wonder what happened to him. Daddy tried to shoot him in the buttocks and he ran off into the woods.
Oh, good times.
No, that's probably my last happy memory, Robin.
Tragic, but what can you do?
We will rise and rebel. We wage war on our revolting rulers with righteous words and rebellious writings. Our best guess in our quest for redress is to divest our breasts and an undressed pair just protest.
Oh, what's that?
Daddy! Daddy, it's
Daddy!
starting!
Please don't do that. We can't show this on the news.
Right, you buggers! Carry ho! Tilly! Get the dog!
Tilly's our mummy. She's proper cracked off too.
Well, at least you are showing some shame.
Free at last!
Oh!
Somerset Bentley, glad to meet you. See, the protest has started already. Nice sharp work, boy.
Thanks, Daddy.
He gets that from me, you know.
And forgive me, what are you trying to achieve here?
We just want to be fudding well heard, that's all.
Oh, language, Penelope. We are news, not rude.
Sorry, Daddy.
We want the world to realise we won't roll over and run away. We will revolt. We will rise again.
Yes, we bloody well will. Spaff and piff pop.
Are you okay?
No, Daddy, how can you?
Oh, shut up and get your
Well, Jeremy, Megan, as this embryonic protest movement takes one in the top legs, it's back here in the
get the
studio.
dog.
I'm Robin Short, struggling surreptitiously in moderate hatchings.
Thanks, Robin. Well, that's certainly a story we want to be keeping an eye on, eh, Megan?
Speak for yourself there, Jeremy, but I've seen enough shaft work to last me a lifetime.
I'm sure you have. But can a naked protest movement ever really catch on? It doesn't seem like the way we do things in this country.
But as I'm sure you're aware, Jeremy, this country is becoming a very different place.
Yes, but seriously, who's going to run around naked in our weather?
Hopefully not you, Jeremy.
Yes, well, there wouldn't be enough canvas for the slogans.
When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm busting.
Oh.
Come on. I'm Tommy the Fingernail Harris, sporting legend. I've got it all. 4 world championships, 2 cars, a bidet, and an enlarged prostate.
Alex, Boson, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the Sports Board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
Put pressure on the bladder. This can cause trouble starting to pee, and it can cause laundry-based trouble between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate in your bum? Well, sorry, me and the doctors, we don't know. But I can tell you, as you get older, your body changes. And that's okay. If you're worried about your swollen bum sack, book an appointment for God's sake. Procedure is easy, it's quick, and it's not gay. I'm Tommy the Fingernail Harris.
Want to see us fry? It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Ellie Striker. She's the more experienced of our two players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, is Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. And, Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Nice start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker for shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing under her legs. Not bad if you ask me.
Is that contact? Don't know why you complain. To Harris.
Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Football. Move back.
I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends. And of course now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker giving it large.
Second round, double, Harris.
Winter round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streaker on the pitch. Apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow. Because it's quite an eyesore, and women's body, yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Eddie Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that offensive thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the Heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastery in display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, always said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves, 4 rounds and 7 subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington Smith.
On my whistle, on my whistle.
Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security is on it. And the bucket has been knocked over! I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Final poses. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these two players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not bad. Well, that ball boy's giving me the eye all the devil day. I don't know what's going on there. Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. Am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because, of course, if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to striker. And striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps... And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mud. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles. So, here we go. Tommy Harris. That's all right. Not bad there. He threw it quite far away from him, which is quite a good idea. Very clever there. Perhaps a little contact, a caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like, I mean, this is a mess now. I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? All right, I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters are... Hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. Nonsense is going on here. Yes, yes.
We want our money.
Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters. Absolute wasters. Oh, jog on!
This is the mime round.
It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who could believe it? Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go in at this point. Really high-level play here from two absolute juggernauts of the sport.
Hold.
The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on.
Illegal spit.
From striker. But she's in it to win it.
Harris's ball.
On it like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's trying to... And the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is... everyone!
Okay, the ref has decreed once again a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon, looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I know is left to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon had an extraordinary final.
Historic sports board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Your own body as it slowly wastes away, or losing your grip on reality. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Now you
Bozeman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge. Some of your controls might be a bit, dangerous. Now, I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions. Bozeman out.
At the end of your stay, you'll pass on painlessly, surrounded by those you love, in comfort and luxury. Isn't that what we all deserve at the end of a life well lived? Our expert legal team will help you make all those difficult arrangements, and our aftercare team will help your dependents through the grieving.
Mr. Clement on your left.
Right you are, pet.
Is your seat damp?
10 seconds, everybody.
No, mine's fine. Have you had a little accident?
Chissy cow.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers mostly.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Someone's dripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Oh, okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera?
Oh, sorry, yes, it's chemical.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. And I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope, 3 days later we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. We wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him. I could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see. And she didn't want to lose the children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important.
Yes.
This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they've run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
Microphone pack has just given me an electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think it from my asshole.
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter.
Yes. Sorry. My apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry. I've got a sack to get. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, I rolled your face, fucker! That one was massive. Right, no, this bastard's coming off.
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... Oh, my grandmother with a rusty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
For fuck's sake!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Right, yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
So they just... I don't suppose there's any way this could be a good thing.
Well, it's for my nephews. We transitioned the moment I thought the leak.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson.